Yeah.
But a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs, visionaries, want the freedom to create on a daily basis and to see like, oh, could I build a business? Could I do this next big thing in my life?
I think I want to build this business. And I gave myself 90 days and I was like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, I know how to do this. I'm going to get it done. And here we are. I didn't have the time to start to make minor decisions. I just needed to make big decisions that was going to get me there. And I felt like, okay, I need to just move fast.
Yes. You might want to start something else when your other businesses are thriving, and it will take a little bit longer. So all of our seasons shift and change, and that's the beauty too of having just like a consistent structure, that's always the same, and you can come back to it.
We're not just talking about stuff, we're actually doing it. And so I think just being in Goal Getters Collab is just going to really make you just get to those goals.
We're a bunch of go-getters. It's so much easier than we make it be in our minds, because we do know what we want. And if we just sit with it for a minute, or like I said, just brain dump, you know what you want to accomplish.
Like, where do you want to be in a year from now? Like when someone's like, oh, I'm thinking about joining Goalgetters Collab. I'm like, oh, good, because in a year from now, you're going to be in a completely different place. So where do you want to be in a year from now?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to you. And we're going to push you to dream bigger. Once you tell us your goal, we're like, well, what is next? Like, well, how about we let's dream a little bigger?
Community is so important to me. I consider it my life's purpose to be here and be building community.
Hey, welcome back to the Mapuana Reed Show. Today we have my friend Stephanie Bowles. This is her second time back on the podcast with us, and we are going to talk all about goals. It is 2026, so there's a lot of us setting new goals, myself included, and we actually want you to stay on track. We want you to set your goals, have an actionable plan to how you're going to get there, and to actually achieve your goals. So welcome back to the Mapuana Reed Show.
Thank you so much. I feel honored to be back.
I'm so happy you're back. And I'm so happy that you're back, and it's January.
Yes.
So it's such a great time to talk about goals and all things Goal Getters Collab, which I love so much. I am in this group. I've been in this group for how long? 2 years?
2 years.
For 2 years. And I move fast in 2 years.
Yes.
Like the person I am today is way different than the person I was when I first signed up. Yeah.
Well, and that's the growth I've seen in you, and just specifically the clarity that comes from goal setting gives us that automatic like movement towards what we want to get to. Yeah. And you have taken the structure and made it happen multiple times.
Yeah. And then bringing things on board like Malama Rituals, where it was never even on my radar. And I was like, oh, I think I want to build this business. And I gave myself 90 days and I was like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, I know how to do this. I'm going to get it done. And here we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really the power of the 90 days. And I've been leaning into that more and more as I talk about goal getters, because that truly is the framework. Like, yes, we are a membership for business owners, and we have planning sessions, we have gatherings. But the foundational layer for a business is having a rhythm that you can come back to your big vision. And sometimes the vision changes, but the 90 days, and there's so much research to show that it's good for our brains to maintain that momentum and not get sidetracked in that amount of time.
90 days helped me move really quickly because it was reachable, where it was just like, it's right there. It wasn't like in a year from now. It was like, it's creeping up. So like if I set the goal today, 90 days from now tomorrow I'm on day 89. Yeah. In 10 days, I'm like, boom, 10 days are gone. I am on day 80. Like it just moved so quickly. But for me, I didn't have the time to start to make minor decisions. I just needed to make big decisions that was going to get me there. And I felt like, okay, I need to just move fast.
Yes. And that's where a lot of people get caught up in goal setting. I actually just saw someone else post about this the other day. We don't have to know all the details before we set a goal. Yeah. We need to make sure we're really clear on where we're going and what we want to accomplish, and then we figure out the details of how to get there.
Yeah. We heard this at the Powerhouse Women, and it was the 70%, 70-30.
Yes.
You only need to know 70% of what you need to know to actually start moving and taking action. You'll figure the 30% out later. Yeah. So it's like in building a business. Like I think if I knew just 70% of it, I could just start the ball rolling versus just, you'll never know everything.
Right.
And in that time, waiting to know everything, you're just holding yourself back. You're like, oh, wait until I do this. Now wait until I do that. It's like, no, I'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah. And I think that the other 30% is where we still get to hold on to our creativity and our freedom in decision making, so that we're not just creating this plan and having to follow every single step, which works for some people,
Yeah.
but a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs, visionaries, want the freedom to create on a daily basis. And so knowing that we have a framework to create within actually unleashes more creativity sometimes, or makes us feel more freedom.
Who is Goal Getters for? Goal Getters Collab. Like, what type of person would that be for?
That's a great question. And I'll just clarify. So Goalgetters Collab is a structured community of accountability. That's our tagline. It is primarily for individual business owners.
Okay.
However, we get a lot of members who are just unsatisfied with where they are in life, or have a business idea but want some structure or feedback to see how they could make it happen. So it's really for those who are serious about their goals, are craving a structured approach, and want to do it in community, and have that feedback, have visibility into how other people are solving issues or getting their goals accomplished. I know you're a huge inspiration for a lot of our members, especially new ones joining. So that's who it's for.
Yeah. So it could be for someone who also has a 9-to-5 job, who maybe is just thinking like, I have this goal of maybe not building a business, but I have this personal goal. I want to create this amount of money, or I want to lose weight, or I want to, whatever it is. They could just they could join us and just set those goals and still be able to, get through the process of it.
And I would even say some of the members who join, if they join for a specific reason, let's say their business, or to figure out where they want to go next, they love the structure so much that they end up using it in their personal life.
Right.
So it's that kind of thing where once you get the hang of it and like really feel, oh yeah, this works, you can apply it to anything.
Yeah. You get into the rhythm and you're like, these are my steps on how I do everything in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the primary source of inspiration that I built Goal Getters is EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Yeah.
And they even acknowledge like this is a life journey, and so there's a book called The EOS Life that builds on these same principles, and it's not a cult, but it's a huge following because it works and it's simple. That's the biggest thing.
Okay, take me on the steps. So what's the first step? It's the new year, someone wants to set a goal. What are the steps to setting the goal and getting there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say the very first thing, and this is what I tell new members who come in, is to make sure you're really clear on what your bigger long-term vision is. Even if it's a little mucky, we want to make sure we're setting goals, especially for the year, that feed into the bigger picture we want to build for ourselves.
Okay.
So that could be life, business, but always starting with the bigger picture. And then for the setting goals for the year, it's really about, what do I want to accomplish this year? I want to get to December and say I did what? And sometimes that's just one thing. Especially people who struggle with setting goals, I often encourage them to pick one thing, and that then unleashes a lot of other things for them.
I feel like there could be two types of people. One is like just setting one goal, and then others sometimes could be like, I got all these goals, and I want to do this and that and this and that and this and that. You're like, okay, let's bring them all in, and what's actually possible. Like, pick 2 maybe, or 3, or
and that's part of my role. So in addition to leading the Goal Getters Collab, I'm a fractional integrator, which means I work with businesses and teams in terms of how they operate, and also setting goals together and aligning together. And part of the process is letting yourself set 10 goals and see what's doable. And but as you go through the process, you'll find some fall off, other opportunities come in, and so a lot of times when members or some of my clients set a lot of goals, I will encourage them to have fewer, but it's really for them to own and be part of that practice. They need to experience what it's like to like set a lot and think they can accomplish a lot, and then realize, oh, it's better if I dwindle this down to just a few.
It feels good to me when I set just a few. I think maybe before, when I first joined Goalgetters Collab, I was that person who had like 10 goals and all that. But then doing like 2 or 3 and then actually accomplishing it, it felt so good to be like, okay, what's my next 3? What's my next 3? And then you just become on this rhythm where you're just like, the way my brain works now is in quarters. So Q1, what's the goal? Q2, what's the goal? Like, I just work that way automatically now,
Yeah.
And it's just in this 90-day chunks. When someone sets a goal and then they say to themselves, like, I want more, what do you feel is underneath all of that? And how do they set those goals?
I think the main feeling that causes those thoughts is actually overwhelm. And I say that because part of goal setting and what makes it easy when you think about it this way is just compartmentalizing all the thoughts you have in your mind. So if you're finding yourself saying, I want more, I would encourage you to brain dump, like, what is all that? What does all that mean? Okay. Write it all down.
Okay.
And then through the process of writing it down, you can very clearly see, most likely, what's on that list that is like the next step or the next thing. Because a lot of times when we're holding so many things in our head, it's like we have all the pieces to the puzzle, but they're scattered everywhere. Yes. And the goal helps us say, okay, this is actually one puzzle, and these are the pieces that go in it.
Okay. So if someone has achieved a lot of their goals and now they want to pivot, what advice would you give them to then set new goals?
It's a great question. And the advice I would give would be to do a few things. So first, do a reality check and say, why do I want to change? Am I itching for something different? Am I just kind of bored with what this is? Because a lot of us are builders and creators, especially visionaries, entrepreneurs. We want to build and create over and over and over again. And so a lot of times when we get to that place, we're just ready for the next thing. And then the other piece of that is, if I'm ready, if I'm at the top of this, what do I want to do with it? And do I want to bring somebody in to help me maintain it? Or am I really done and I'm ready for my next chapter, her next chapter?
Right? Happening in me.
Come on over.
Yeah.
But I guess the biggest thing that comes to mind is, especially as, well, most business owners and then even individuals who are craving something more, it's because we're visionaries and we see more of what's possible. And so it's understanding what that means to be a self-starter or a creator, and knowing that that's just always going to be part of the process. And you might end up building a business that you love, but always seeing other avenues that it can go. And that's completely normal. And so if you get there, you're ready to pivot, it's then figuring out, what is the first thing I can do that's going to make me feel like I've started this or moved it in the next direction. It doesn't have to be building the whole thing at once.
The reason I love being in Goal Getters is that I'm such a big visionary. Like, I can see the big picture, I can see the end goal, and working with you just really just helps me like hone in on my goals and exactly what steps are necessary. Is like, okay, this is the goal. First step would be this, second step would be that, third step would be this, like, and you just break it down so easily. But let's talk about the visionary and the integrator, like their roles, and what is a visionary person and an integrator.
Yeah, I love this one because I'm both. And for those of you who've heard me talk before too, it's, well, and I know you have. So the visionary integrator concept comes from EOS, again, what I've already mentioned, the framework. And it's the idea that for any successful business to really skyrocket, there's this synergy of a visionary who's constantly thinking big and building those big relationships, and then the integrator who's saying, okay, but let's do this thing first and let's hone it in, and that's how we're going to get there. We're going to keep building on the momentum. And so a lot of us are both all the time, especially as individual entrepreneurs. And I see Goal Getters as the integrator for all the visionaries, because really it's just about setting a structure, having someone holding you accountable, and kind of like looking out for you, sharing your business with you. And that is the role I love to play.
I love that, because I feel like you take me through all the steps that is needed. You let me see things, like sometimes I just see the big goal, and then sometimes I also can get lost in like, it's such a big goal, but then you then show me the roadmap. Oh, this is how you're going to get there. That's how I feel like. Yeah. And I said this before, I feel like we're both in like the snow globe, and it's shaking up, and all my ideas is like the snow floating around, and I'm there with you, and you're like, okay, pick about 3. I'm like, that one. You're like, okay, and these are the 3 that we're going to bring to life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what helps us sustain ourselves and create these sustainable businesses, because if we try to do everything at once, we're going to burn out so fast. And so targeting on certain things, and again, being realistic with what our capacity is right now. Like, you built 2 businesses within a year and a half or a year. What was
Right.
it?
Yeah.
And not everybody has the capacity to do it. You happen to be in a time in your life when you could. And so you might want to start something else when your other businesses are thriving, and it will take a little bit longer. So all of our seasons shift and change, and that's the beauty too of having just like a consistent structure. Excuse me, that's always the same, and you know you can come back to it.
The part that I love so much about Goalgetters Collab is the community.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many great people in the community. We have Sammy with social media. We have, so like whatever you want to learn and know, there's somebody within the group. Britt's working on websites. So if you need a website built, like, you know, Brittany can do that. Sammy does social media. There's so much of us doing so many different things that just being in the community to me is just so powerful. And it's something that, like, whatever you need in business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need bookkeeping? Do you need branding? Do you need photography? Do you need, like, all the things you need in the business? There's someone in Goalgetters Collab that can help you with that.
Yes, and I love that so much. And even, you know this, but we all hire each other. It's like our little ecosystem.
Yeah.
And community is so important to me. I consider it my life's purpose to be here and be building community. But when I built Goalgetters, I don't think I realized how deep the connections would be that the members have, because a lot of the founding members, and you are one of them, set the tone for this is who we are. Yeah. We support each other, and that energy is so contagious, and people are just drawn to that. And the people who want to be supportive are drawn to that. So I just love our community so much, and I'm so excited to grow it. We're at 43 members today in January.
43 members. That's amazing. Okay, wait, Goalgetters started just 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
I remember when you were first just starting it out.
Yeah. You were at my first workshop.
Yeah.
For Goalgetters.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love seeing the growth in every single person in the group. I love seeing them come up with an idea and think, oh, I think I want to do this, or I want to do this, or I want to pivot. Yeah. Britt's pivoting from Treehouse Teas and you know, doing the Amime Matcha and all that stuff. And Sammy had pivoted from doing other things and brought on board her social media agency and management and all that wonderful stuff. But just seeing your friends have a goal, have an idea, and just have it come to life. And it's just like, we're just all there cheering each other on. Like, it's so, so good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This is something that I feel like I needed maybe back in my photography days, because building a business can feel so lonely. Like, you just feel like you're online reaching out to people, and like, you don't really have that community. But this community, we get together online, in person. We're together all the time doing a whole bunch of things.
Yeah. And I really think planning together, and like you said, sharing goals and successes makes those, then when we have celebratory events or other connections, so much more powerful. Yeah. And
when you see a friend set a goal and reach it, and then you're like, oh, well, then if she can do it, so can I.
We were saying before, it's so inspiring to watch other people do it. And I think it creates a really safe, secure space to try it out, to just see like, ooh, could I build a business? Could I do this next big thing in my life?
But also in a safe place to dream big and not be ashamed to be like, I have this goal, but I don't know if this is the group. No, this is the group to dream big, and we're going to push you to dream bigger. Once you tell us your goal, we're like, well, what is next? Like, well, how about let's dream a little bigger?
Yeah. And then if it gets too big, I'll be like, well, let's start here.
Yeah, let's come back just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah. Okay. What about someone, it's 2026. This is when everyone sets their big goals. What about for someone who's just like, I have no goals. Like, I wouldn't know who that person is, but I'm sure they're probably out there. Maybe they're listening to the podcast. But for someone who thinks like, I have no goals, like, what does that do to their mind, to their outcome, to their future?
That's such a good question. And it is so common for people to also be turned away from goal setting.
Yeah, like maybe it's overwhelming for them.
It's overwhelming. It feels restrictive. It feels like, well, I don't know what I'm going to want in 3 months. How can I set my goal for the year?
Yeah.
And what I would say to that is, I think you do know. And part of the scary part of setting goals for people who say, I don't want one, is the fear of not getting to it or of not making it.
So it's avoidance, maybe?
A little bit of avoidance.
Yeah.
And I think just learning to, like we were talking about, yes, goal setting is structured, like we're creating a plan for ourselves in a way, but it also allows for so much freedom, because if you decide, okay, I'm putting my attention here and this gets my attention first,
Yeah.
it then frees up so much time of that mental drama of like allowing any new idea to come in and giving it space and voice. And there can be a place where you can put those, but especially doing goal setting where you're really intentional about it. And that's why I say start with your bigger vision, because then it's really connected to something and you're not just picking anything at random.
Just because January 1st, I'm going to do this, and this.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of times, especially goal getters, when we walk through the annual plan, the 1-year goal setting, it's so much easier than we make it be in our minds, because we do know what we want. And if we just sit with it for a minute, or like I said, just brain dump, what you want to accomplish. And if we don't do that, then we end up just feeling stuck and overwhelmed all the time. And we consistently have competing priorities because we don't know where to put our energy. And it's tiring. And then we get to the end of the year, we're like, what did I just do?
Yeah. So you get to the end of the year and you're at the same spot you was last year.
Yes.
You're in the same place or worse. And I always tell people, like, where do you want to be in a year from now? Like when someone's like, oh, I'm thinking about joining Goalgetters Collab. I'm like, oh, good, because in a year from now, you're going to be in a completely different place. So where do you want to be in a year from now?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to you.
It can be simple if you let it.
You do make it feel very simple, very possible, not overwhelming. And even though my goals are like really big sometimes, and sometimes I get like, ooh, that's like a real big one. But then like when I do the step-by-step process, I'm like, oh, this is very doable.
Yeah. And I think the other thing to know, and I'll share for me personally, because I've had a lot of growth in my business and in my coaching, especially as an integrator. And I have set very high goals for myself that I have not met. But I feel okay with that, because at least I know my daily actions are still moving towards that. And yeah, it's scary to set a goal and it's disappointing when you don't make it. But now I get to refocus for this year and continue to build on it. So a lot of it's the mindset of letting yourself dream big, picking something to make it easier for yourself. And then if you don't make it, know that there's always more opportunity. But at least if you can see where you were going and see the work you did to get there, that's amazing. That's something to celebrate and be proud of.
Yeah. Okay, what about for those who set big goals? So January 1st rolls around, the momentum is going, everything's like wonderful. Like, I got these big goals, I'm doing this. January 15th, it's like, they're like, oh yeah, I kind of got those goals. February 1st, they forgot what the goals even was.
Yeah, that is really common and more common than we think.
It's like going to the gym. Everyone's there January 1st.
Those busy gym classes.
Yeah. How do we get back on track? So there's a lot of people who set a lot of big goals on January 1st. And then January 15th rolls around and then their goals are like, oh, they're still kind of there. But February 1st, their goals are nowhere in sight. So how do we pick that momentum back up?
Yeah. That's such an important thing to think about, because it happens way more frequently than we realize, where we have so much energy and momentum at the start of the year and we set goals. However we do that, whether we write them down or not, most people don't though. So that would be my very first tip. We are so much more likely to make a goal happen if it's written down and we revisit it and we look at it.
There's something about it being in your handwriting, right? That signals to your brain, like, this is going to happen. Oh,
yes.
I love handwriting in a journal, just free writing goals. Goals number 1, goal number 2. Yeah.
All of it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So getting it on either on paper or digitally, because a lot of us write goals digitally, is so important. And then having the accountability structures where you're going to look at it. So in Goal Getters, we do our monthly planning sessions, which is really where we're looking at our goal we set for the 90 days and saying, where am I on this? And it's your chance to reset and realign on your habits or your daily schedule that you have for yourself, because it's really in how we spend our time is where we're making our goals happen. So if you have set a goal and then just forget it and don't check in on it and you're just going about your day as you would, nothing's going to change. So I highly recommend doing weekly check-ins with yourself. And even the teams I work with as a fractional integrator, we meet weekly and we're looking at our 90-day goals and saying, are you on track or off track? And that just keeps it top of mind for us so that we can align our actions to what that goal is. So I think the thing to know is you are way more likely to achieve a goal if you write it down and when you hold yourself accountable. And the other piece of this, and part of the reason I created Goal Getters, is we all have high hopes that we can hold ourselves accountable to something, but in reality, we don't. I just started going to a gym, lifting weights. I feel very proud of myself. And I go with one of my very good friends, and I don't think I would go if she did not go to the class.
Oh.
And so it's that accountability for anything where we're trying to build more in our lives. We need it. And that's what Goal Getters is all about. It's having the space to hold yourself accountable.
And also, like, saying in our little pods that we meet up bi-weekly, when we set our goals, our quarterly goals, and then we show up to the call, and then we're going to have to tell everyone, like, I did nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just keeping yourself accountable and being in that group.
Yes. Yeah. And being okay that, you know, maybe you had a really bad week. Like, I moved homes in the middle of the year, and that's definitely, it took a lot of my attention away, and that's okay. But I need to be real. Yeah, come back, check in.
Yeah. They say...
Oh, I forgot.
I don't know. I got menopause brain, so it's like, it comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes, like that little bug that was here. Wait, what was it?
Something to that effect.
Measured gets... I think it's what gets measured gets
something
achieved.
Like that. Let it be your own quote.
Okay. Yes. That's what it is.
Yes.
Because if you don't measure it, like, honestly, it's like your weight. You don't know what weight you're at until you, like, constantly get on the scale. You're going to start to know when you're off track.
Yep.
If you're not measuring yourself every day getting on that scale, maybe you jump on the scale this week and then 2 months from now you jump back on and you're like, how did I get so off track? Versus if you're on there every day, whether it's your weight, your goals, or whatever it is, when you're tracking it every single day, you know when you just veer off a little bit.
Yep.
It's easier to come back versus, like, you're way over there and you're like, I don't even know where my goals went.
Yes.
Like, what were they again? Like, yeah.
And another really good point in there is that some goals take time and it's a slow progression.
Yeah.
And that's why checking in on it weekly and saying, what are the few tasks I can do this week to move this forward?
Okay.
You're making those steps super easy and manageable for you so
Okay.
that you're not going to accomplish a goal immediately in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes maybe.
Yeah.
But it's really those small steps along the way.
So since it's January, everyone pretty much has their health goals. Like, I want to work out. I want to do all these things. Take me on some steps. I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 6 months. So I know you say SMART goals.
Yes.
Right? So tell me what SMART goals are.
All right. So SMART goals are, it's an acronym. It's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound.
Okay. So specific would be, I want to lose 10 pounds.
So the specificity is, can I actually check this off a list when I get there? Do I know what done looks like?
Okay.
So it's specific enough that you could do that.
Okay. So for me, 10 pounds would be like, okay, the 10 pounds are gone.
Yes.
Okay. And then measurable.
And then realistic.
Oh, realistic. Okay.
Is
6 months.
Can you actually do that? Is it reasonable to lose 10 pounds in 6 months? And I would probably say yes. Or you ask your health expert, whatever.
Okay.
Attainable is your lifestyle going to allow for you to put into place whatever you need to lose those 10 pounds? So that's
your
a little more, of the reality check. What does your day-to-day look like? Like, if I'm going on a 6-month travel journey through Europe, which I would love to do, and I'm going to eat my way through Europe, I might not be losing 10 pounds.
But if you go to Japan, you might, because I heard you walk everywhere.
That's true.
So you might
lose 20. You never know, actually. Some people lose weight on vacation.
Yeah.
So that's the attainable. Where are we?
I
did the R in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I thought we're on M.
All right, let's go back. So M, yes, measurable. So the measurable piece it's most likely related to a number, so that number 10. Okay. But if we have a goal that can't be quantified, just figure out another way.
Okay.
And then the T is time bound. So this is where it's really helpful. If we're setting a 90-day goal or a 6-month goal, for example, we already can easily measure now from 6 months. Okay. And we put the exact date because we want to give ourselves that time frame to work within.
Okay.
And then once you have that goal and you know it's written in SMART language, then you can start to map out what are the steps the milestones along the way that I would need to get there. So one way I would recommend doing that one is maybe in month 1, your goal is to lose 2 pounds. And then month 2 is to lose a total of 4 pounds. You know, you're making it measurable along the way.
Okay. Month 1, it's like 2 pounds, but then you have to put down your steps. So how are you actually going to achieve the 2 pounds, right? So it's going to be like, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps a day. I'm going to lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to eat these high protein meals. So it's taking those goals and digging deep into your actual systems and how to achieve that.
Yes. And that's where we get into what are my tasks, the things on my to-do list versus what's a habit I want to cultivate in my life.
Okay.
So the tasks might be create a meal plan,
Okay.
figure out or put on my calendar when I'm going to exercise. And then the habits are I wake up every morning and look at my meal plan and do this thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to separate those, going back to the idea of compartmentalizing all the thoughts in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
The goals, the milestones, the tasks, and the habits all give space for those things so that we can approach the day, our lives, with less clutter going on in our heads and just so much more clarity about where we want our action to go.
Mm-hmm. So this example exactly is what makes me feel like, okay, this is so possible, because I think, I want to lose 10 pounds, but even 10 pounds was like, that's a lot for me. Like 10 pounds, and how am I going to do that? But then when we start doing the SMART goals, and then when I start working backwards, like doing the meal plans, doing high protein, like what day, so doing all those SMART goals, like being very specific. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I walk from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you basically know exactly step by step what you're doing on what days to achieve those goals.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's,
I think no matter what goal you set, so this is just an example of the SMART goals of like maybe 10 pounds and then how to actually get there with actionable steps. So 10 pounds would be, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 6 months. The steps are going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is what I do. Tuesday, Thursdays, I lift. This is my meal plan. I meal prep. So there's also the point where you get to like your daily habits. And what was your daily habits?
and your task list.
And your task list. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And, we're getting so deep into setting the goal and how to do that, which is so important. But I think always making sure that it's tied back to the bigger picture for you. And maybe that's living a really healthy lifestyle or being kind to your body or whatever it is, because that why, that bigger vision is going to be the motivator for you. Yes, our goals should be motivating and can be a lot of the time. But a lot of the time, too, it feels daunting.
Yeah.
And so knowing why we're doing something is just as important as having a clear goal for yourself.
Yeah. In my course, The Blueprint, I do this thing where it's called the 7 Whys Deep. And you basically ask why 7 times to get to the root of it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's so good and it's so deep. It's like, why? So like maybe this example, like I want to lose 10 pounds. Why? Because I'm getting older and I want to be healthier. But why? Like naturally, of course, everyone's going to get older, but why do I want to be healthier? I want to be healthier because I want to be around for my children. Why? Well, my husband is 12 years older than me. So most likely I will be the person still here with my children. Like, why is that important? Because my kids are still in high school and are still young. So it goes deep.
Yeah.
And you think the surface level just sounds like 10 pounds.
Right.
But when you ask why so much time, do you get to the root of it? And then I think when you connect to your deeper why, then that goal becomes like just so natural for you to be like, oh, the reason I'm doing this is because I have to live longer for my children. My children are still young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even you just sharing that with me, I know you very well, but that makes me feel more connected to you too. And so thinking of the more we share out loud our whys or our goals, the more we're connecting with each other, which I think is something we all crave right now,
Right.
Especially as AI is enhancing and like we're
Everything's
all
on Zoom,
virtual.
virtual,
Yeah, we crave that connection. So I love the idea of using goal setting and the why with another person to just create even deeper connections.
I think just ask yourself why. Like, do it with a friend. Like, you could just be with one of your friends, coworkers, or whoever you feel safe with, and just ask them, like, oh, what goals do you have? And then just try it out and just be like, well, why? Yeah. It
And
goes
then,
to a deep
okay, well,
root.
how are you going to do that? Is that a SMART goal?
Yeah. Wait, did we do a T? What is T? Did we do
Time bound.
Okay, we did
Yeah,
time.
we did that.
Okay. Yeah.
That one we did in order.
Okay, good. Good. Yeah. I think anything you want is possible. You just have to be able to be willing to work towards the goals that you truly want and asking yourself why. And then
Yeah.
getting in a community that helps support that. But really, you become like the people you hanging out with. Like being in this community, you're going to start to naturally be your best self. You're naturally going to want to run faster just because we're all kind of at this pace where like our goals were like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? You know, we're not just talking about stuff, we're actually doing it. And so I think just being in Goal Getters Collab is just going to really make you just whoop, get through those goals.
We're a bunch of go-getters.
We are in the collab.
In the collab.
Yeah. So what about for someone who falls off their goals? Like if they're the type of person like they just know, like, and they're just okay with it. We can't be friends.
We can't be friends.
I am sorry, because I would show up at your house with your goal list. I was like, "What's your address?"
I would say I've actually had people in the group like that who come in, they're interested in the community or they're interested in structure, but generally they just are really averse to goal setting. Well, and that's the thing. The group is here for the community and the accountability, but some members do the work on their own.
Yeah.
And that works for them.
And I do think, though, there is something about some people feeling like if I just become a member, okay, back to the gym. I'll sign up for the gym and it'll make me go. It's not going to make you go. You need to be the person to push yourself to go to the gym, to sign up for the life that you actually want. Nobody is going to be there to push you but yourself. So I don't care what you sign up. You sign up for the cooking class, you signing up for the gym, for the Goal Getters Collab. You have to be the person to show up for yourself. And if you don't, you got nobody else to blame but yourself. Like if you're not showing up for your goals, nobody else is going to show up for you.
Yes. And I think the thing where people get stuck on that is they feel, especially business owners, that there's so much to do with their business.
And they're just so busy.
But one way to get out of that and allow yourself the ability to see the path out of that is by setting aside time to work on the business. So giving yourself intentional space to be like, oh yeah, what were my goals this year and what did I want to do? Because that's also honoring yourself. Like,
and it doesn't take that long either. Like we meet, like, you know, we got the yearly goal setting, we got the quarterly. So it's not like we're meeting every single day. We got monthly, and then if you're in a pod, we got the bi-monthly, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really tried to structure it that way because I know how busy we get.
Yeah.
And I know how important it is to have the time. And the reason we have monthly planning sessions, and then there's a whole bunch of other supports like our power hours, the accountability pods, like you said. But when members join, I say, if you come to anything, if you put anything on your calendar, it's the monthly planning session.
Yes.
And it should be your most productive time of that month.
Yeah.
And so getting ourselves to get out of the race of the day-to-day, that's what the goal setting and structure is really all about.
Yeah. Sometimes we can get so lost in it, especially feeling like we're just the only person holding it all together. We're running the business, running the family, doing all the things. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I have to add one more thing onto my plate.
Yes. Yeah. And it's really not meant to be that. And I would say this, even outside of Goal Getters, the process of annually goal setting, quarterly goal setting, and then having a regular check-in with you is just a foundational routine that is essential for any business.
And then my thing will be, well, where do you want to be in a year from now? I say that all the time. Where do you want a year from today? So next January, where do you want to be? That's basically up to you.
It's totally up to each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone is feeling restless with some of their goals, how would you guide them to choose just one goal and get through that?
I love this exercise, and I'll say a few things about that because I know we're still at the start of the year. Yeah. So I would say one is really do what you can to harness the momentum that this time of year brings, because it's always right now that we are going to feel the most energy in imagining what's possible. The new year, just whether it's culturally or, you know, time-wise, it just brings that. And
Right.
so really leaning into that and saying, now is the most potent time I can set goals for myself.
Yeah.
With that said, you can set goals anytime that you want. And then the other thing I would do if you're struggling to figure out your goals, go back to that brain dump, like pull out your journal, pull out a big piece of paper, however big you want, however many pages, and just set your timer for 5 minutes and let your brain unfold and just see what comes out. And don't get stuck on trying to figure out what the big goals are. Just even if it's little tasks or a conversation you have to have or that you have to put the dishes away, just let it all out and then look at that list and circle the top 3 things that you would make such a difference to you if you got there by the end of the year. And those are your goals.
That to me reminds me of the snow globe.
Yes.
Like draw a little stick figure in the middle. That's you. Draw stuff next to you, and then just let it all.
Reach out your hand.
Yeah, reach out your hand, and then just let it all out. Like that's all your snowflakes, and then just circle the top 3 that you just want to bring to life.
Yeah. But that's what I mean by it can be so easy, and it's these really small practices that can make such a huge difference for us. And you might even look at that list and then be able to cross off so many things because you're like, oh, well, I already did that, or I know I'm going to do this tomorrow. And then suddenly your brain is free, your direction is clear, and you're ready to go.
I do a brain dump every Sunday. Just to
Nice.
like think, and then I take things off of there that I think like, what do I need to do, and then what days, and I actually put them in my calendar.
That's incredible.
So it'd be like simple things like I need to do my Costco run, you know, and that's like, okay, that's going to be on this day at this time, and yeah, the brain dump is so good.
So good. And that's also where it's important to have a system that you know you can constantly rely on. You know, I'm obsessed with bullet journaling.
Yes.
That is my dumping grounds of everything.
Yeah.
But I use it every single day. And so that's how I keep myself organized as well.
Yeah. Have you read The Atomic Habit?
Yes.
So good. Yeah, they have the workbook out. That's not, you know.
Oh, I didn't
they have a
see
workbook
that.
out. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that a lot of the messages in Atomic Habits are very similar to the mindset behind goal setting that we use in Goal Getters.
Yeah. If someone is thinking about joining Goal Getters Collab, where should they go? When's open enrollment?
So you can join at any time, and that's why I said earlier, it's never too late to set your goals. So we've already started our annual goal planning in Goal Getters, but we have members joining when they find us or when it feels right for them. So membership is always open.
Okay,
and
I love that.
I really encourage members to join for a full year so that you can embody the habits that is the foundation and structure that I teach. So you can go to goalgetterscollab.com. And all the info is there. And my goal that I didn't share earlier is that I want to grow to 150 members this year.
I love that.
And we're at a little over 40, so anyone's welcome.
Yeah. So come on over and come and join us.
Come and join us.
Yeah.
All this fun.
Thank you so much. And I hope to see you in Goal Getters Collab. See you on the next episode.
Thank you.